Hello l'équipe, c'est comment? Nouvelle semaine, nouvel épisode. Aujourd'hui pour cet épisode, on va aller couper le prestigieux gardien d'Arsenal Alexei Rojas. On va se rendre chez lui à Londres. Il rentre tout juste de la Coupe du Monde qu'il a effectuée avec la Colombie, mais ça n'a pas toujours été facile. Il a toujours voulu être footballeur, mais au début, il se faisait recaler de pas mal de centres de formation anglais. Mais je ne vais pas tout vous raconter, c'est lui qui va vous raconter tout ça au cours de sa coupe. Let's go!
Me and my team ain't taking no L's. I told them you don't wanna play us. We going downtown with a flight in the morning. Said fuck it, I'm just gonna stay up. Remember last year I told them the price, and now they all wanna pay up. They hit me now, they coming too late. All I reply is to save up. Me and my guys, we did it ourselves, so no one can say that they made us.
Alex, thank you for coming.
My pleasure, Alexis. Thank you for inviting me here.
So for people that don't really already know who you are, could you quickly introduce yourself? What is it that you do? Where you from?
Yeah, so for everyone that's watching, that's listening, my name's Alexei Rojas and I'm a goalkeeper for Arsenal. I'm aspiring to become a professional footballer, and my aim is to become the best goalkeeper in the world.
That's one of your dreams. That always been your dream?
Yeah, ever since I'll say when I started seriously as a goalkeeper and I realised that I could make it to a higher level, probably from around 9-10 years old when I started really training hard, that was my goal, was starting to become the best goalkeeper in the world, and that's what drives me on every single day.
Right now you just play for Arsenal, but you also came back and played your first World Cup.
Yes, yeah. So obviously, I've been doing well at Arsenal, and I've also been with the Colombian national team, but it's still not the end point, you know. I want to keep going higher and higher with the levels, play more and more games, and for me, the most important thing is to develop every day, become better every day. And you mentioned around the World Cup, so I was in Argentina in June for the Under-20 World Cup. I was part of the Colombian squad. I didn't play, unfortunately. However, it was a very good tournament for us as a team. We got through to the quarterfinals. We lost to Italy, unfortunately, in the quarterfinals. We lost 3-1. They were a very good team, very good footballing side, and it was a great experience for all of us. We learned a lot about ourselves and as a team. And for me, in going into my first World Cup at 17 years old, it was incredible because
it's a good experience.
It's something that I've never experienced before, being in another country like that, where it's playing against teams from all over the world, and I've learned so much, and it puts me in really good stead going forward.
Do you feel like you came back and learn about even yourself as a person? It makes you grow up a little bit quicker when you go overseas or you go play with national teams, you meet other people from other countries, other selections?
Yeah, definitely. The footballing experience is invaluable, and obviously we train every day, and there's a lot of improvement that goes on there. And I think a lot of people, unless they're actually within the football environment, don't realise the personal growth that happens. That you learn a lot about what you're like as a person, whether you like being more on your own, whether you like being part of the team, how it is that you need to recover at certain times, what is your role on the team, knowing whether you're going to be a player that's starting, a player that's going to be on the bench, sometimes coming on, knowing how you can support your teammates, and having good unity within the team, because we all have the same goal when we're out there, is to win every game, to become world champions, and it's like that at any tournament. So it's important to be united with the group and do everything that you can to help.
So to come back about the start of your journey of, let's say, football player playing at a high level, when did you sign your first contract scholarship? How did you learn about it? How did you tell you, and how did you feel about that?
So when I signed my scholarship, I would have been 16 years old. I would have been in my last year of school, year 11, and it's what I had been working towards ever since I joined Arsenal. I joined Arsenal at 13, and at the time I was on a schoolboy contract. It doesn't mean anything. You don't get paid anything. It just shows that you're part of the club and you can't just go and go somewhere else. So for me to sign my scholarship, it was a very happy moment, not just for myself, but also for my whole family, all of my close people, because they had supported me a lot. My dad, my brother, and my mum, we were all very happy when we found out. We had an online meeting with the academy manager, my head coach, and the assistant academy manager. And for me, I was expecting the good news because I knew that I had been doing well in games. I'd been given opportunities to be with the under 18s at the time. I'd trained with the first team as well, so I was expecting the good news. And once again, when I got the news, it reaffirmed the fact that I was doing well, and it gave me motivation to keep going forward, to keep pushing on.
Yeah, it's a satisfaction to see that your work is paying off. Definitely. In life, when you work hard, then good things come and happen.
Yeah, it's like a first check mark. Like you said, it's really the start of a new journey, because when you sign your scholarship, you're really at the bottom now. Again, you have to sort of start again, because you're going into the more professional world of football.
And so is it like at 16 years old, you start like getting in, let's say you start having a job at 6, like you have duties, like how do you live that? Like how do you live like being like a teenager, because you're a young teenager coming like to a young man? How do you feel? Like, is it hard? Does it give you pressure?
No, I think it's something that at that age is something that you want to do. You want to become a full-time footballer, because that's what it is. As soon as you start your scholarship, it's like having a full-time job. Because, whilst all the other kids are still at school, we're at the club pretty much the whole day, training. We do any education there at the club. We do our gym. We do our analysis sessions, and we start getting paid as well. So it's more like being a professional, because you're also at the training ground like a professional. Training times are similar. You see the players, the first team players around the ground, and you step into a new world of football, where before you've just seen it on TV, you see these big players at these training grounds with all these amazing facilities, and now you're being more part of it. So
it gives you like a line where you want to go to, like gives you more focus maybe.
And I think for all of us, it's something, and for myself definitely, it's something that we would want, because when we know it's around scholarship decision time, we don't want to be at school anymore. We want to just get to playing football full time.
And that's important, because you still go to school.
Yeah, exactly. We do our education there as well, so we're not missing out on anything.
People that you have around you help you a lot to stay focused, like let's say on the normal life.
Yeah. And for me, the family side of it is very important, because they support me. My brother supports me, my mum, my dad, they all support me. And as well, it's a good way to switch off and relax from the football when you're at home. You can just be like a normal person.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the point of you saying, how do I balance it between having an also normal teenager life and being a footballer at the same time? It's being disciplined and understanding what my priorities are, because a lot of people at my age, they just want to be out partying, want to be with their friends, they want to be out drinking, or not being so serious, because they just want to enjoy. But when football is my job, and it can be such a short career, and these few years now were so pivotal in terms of deciding how well I was doing my career.
Yeah,
I understand what I need my focus to be on, and I can't be wasting time or energy going somewhere else. But at the same time, I'm able to find a good balance between seeing my friends, seeing my girlfriend, and also spending time with my family. And that's important to me, because that time gives me the opportunity to rest my mind, to recharge, and then when I go back to be on the pitch, be back in the training ground, I can be 100% on it and be fully focused. So it's about finding a balance between the two, and for everybody that balance is different, but for me, I found a good balance between my personal life and my football life.
You got your dreams, and you need to put like 100% efforts in it, but do you feel sometimes you might be missing when you see people, normal people, let's say, from your age, like going out, doing that kind of stuff? Does it stress you sometimes, or?
For me, no, because
I've always thought that the people that are doing those things a lot of the time, they may be enjoying their life now, but it's going to be a lot harder for them in the future. But for me, I'm working hard now to then make my life easier in the future.
Yeah, you're looking for the long run.
Yeah, exactly. It's about the long-term journey, not about the short-term rewards. And
Yeah. And
it's understanding that the easy is now really important for me, because I can go out, do those things. You can do that whenever in your life, really. But to become a footballer, it's now or never.
even if you don't make it like in football life, all those qualities that you're going to have, that's great quality that you can put on work, like being on time, go to bed early or eat well, like doing efforts, accountability, all that. So it's like, let's say football, do you feel like it's a good school of life? It's a good way like to learn about life?
Alexis, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I think you have to grow up very quickly as a footballer at a young age, because first of all, you spend a lot of time away from home where you're just with your teammates and you don't have your family, you're in an unfamiliar environment. So you have to grow up quick in terms of being able to understand yourself well, to be disciplined with your habits, especially when nobody's there telling you what to do. You have to be disciplined with yourself, and definitely football gives you very good teachings for the future in any way of life. That's what they tell us a lot in the academy, because they're not only just teaching us to be good footballers, but also good people. Like you said, having good nutrition, having good sleep, being disciplined with your time, and understanding yourself very well, because a lot of people only get to learn about themselves much later on in life. They don't really know what it is that they need, how they need to look after their bodies, look after their minds. However, as a footballer, you're forced to do that a lot quicker, at a lot earlier age. So it's definitely beneficial. And I think even if you don't become a footballer and you take all the teachings, they will help you in any form of life.
Do you have some of the moment that is the highlight of your young career so far?
For me, my greatest moment would be when I made my Colombia debut. So that would have been for Colombia under-17s in July 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for me is the greatest.
How did you learn about it? Like, what was the moment like when they called you? Do you remember where you were, or how did you felt? Or?
I had just been in France, in Marseille for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in a tournament with the under-20 team.
Okay.
So that tournament is called the Maurice Revelo tournament.
Okay.
And there I was the number 3 goalkeeper. They'd taken me for experience, so I hadn't played. And
yeah,
whilst I was there was one of the coaches who was there, is one of the coaches from the under-17 team.
Mm-hmm.
And he had told me, right, we're going to call you up in this quick tournament in Colombia, in a city called Valledupar, later on in the month. So we would have gotten together in Colombia at the end of June, and then the games were at the start of July. So I was really looking forward to that, because I knew that I'd go there to be the number 1, to go and play matches. So I was very happy, and I knew that once that tournament in France had finished, that my preparation, my focus had to be completely on that, because at the time we were in off season, so we weren't training at the club. So even when I got back from the tournament, I had a week and a half of time between getting back and then going to Colombia. So
and
I ensured to keep up my training, keep up my discipline there. And I was in a really good place when I went there. I was happy, I felt comfortable, I felt confident in my football, and most importantly, when I did go out there and played, it was at a stadium filled up, 15,000 people in the stadium. And it was a really good debut for me. I played well. Unfortunately, we lost 1-0 from a penalty, but it was a good debut, because I showed the Colombian people what it is that I can do, and they had been waiting for me to play for a long time. So overall, it was a very positive experience.
And it's hard to make the switch between playing for the national selection and also the team, or coming back. Like, how do you manage this? The switch, like the traveling, coming back. having to adjust all the time?
I think the two teams are very distinct. It's first of all, it's two different cultures, so I have to be able to adapt to both cultures. And as well, the playing styles are different, and the how do I say, the value of the games varies, because at the club a lot of the time it's a lot more development focused. Obviously, we want to win as well. That goes without saying. However, development at our age is a key part of it. With the national team, is pretty much solely focused on winning, and it's an important. It's important to experience both sides of it, to experience a developmental environment as well as a winning environment, because then I can combine the both and take the best from those two teams.
This is actually one good thing, like, going to an environment and having to adjust, like, to the environment, to teammates, like, to be sociable. Is it hard? Because obviously you come into a group you're an individual, but you have to fit in the group. So is it hard?
For me personally, I don't find it that hard, because I've become more accustomed to it. I think at first it was more so a case of just getting used to it, being with different people, being in a different footballing culture. And it's important to find friends quick and create relationships quickly, because relationships off the pitch are going to help you on the pitch as well. So you don't want to make enemies at all. You want to go in there, create a positive impression with the people, and that way the people know that you want to help them, and then at the same time they're going to want to help you.
As a person, is it hard to do the balance? Because you need the group, but also, I don't know if I can say that, but it's like a real individual sport, because it's your job. You have to make it for your career. How do you balance, like, your personal goals with the team ones and, let's say, the selection or the club?
Yeah, that's a question that comes up a lot, to be fair. And I think it gets even more emphasized as a goalkeeper, where it's a position where you're quite isolated from the rest of the team, and a lot of the times you work separate and your roles are completely...
And how is that? Of course, the team, they work together, but most of the time, the goalkeeper, like you just said, you work apart with the goalkeeper coaches. Is it hard to balance? Do you feel like sometimes you're part of the group, or how do you manage to do that and still feel part of the group and get involved?
I think it's important to spend time with people outside of the pitch, and that way you have good relationships within the team. That way your players trust you, you trust them, and you create a bond, because you both need each other. You need all 11 players on the pitch, as well as all the players that are on the bench and all the support staff. You all need to be together. You need to be supporting each other, because you're all going for the same goal. And what you mentioned earlier around finding that balance between the individual side and the team side, I think if you focus on your own performance, then a lot of the time you lose the team task aspect of it. You forget what the coach may tell you, or you're not focused on what the instructions have been. However, at the same time, if you're focusing too much on the team task, you may lose focus of what your individual role is. So it's important to have both things in mind, and they both work hand in hand. If you focus on the team task, and then at the same time you're focusing on your own performance, and you have a good balance between that, they will both take care of themselves. And it's about just doing your best for the team, because if you do your best for the team, then you will look good.
Yeah.
And the team will look good. So it's a win-win in both situations. So it's not about being...
There's a common like interests.
Yeah.
You all go need each other
to play well. You all want each other to play well, and you want to win. So as long as you're helping each other, the rest of it will take care of itself, and it will just happen, because a good performance from yourself will help the team, and a good performance from the team will help yourself.
If you could talk to your younger self, like the Alex that's maybe, let's say, 10, 11, that dreams to play for a big club, play for national selection, like, what would you tell yourself? What is an advice that you will give to your younger self?
I've always believed in myself, so I've never thought, oh, I won't be able to do that, I won't be able to do this, but it's always been like, wow, like, if I do that, that would be amazing. Like, I'm very happy with where I am at the moment, but I'm not satisfied nor content because I know there's a lot more that I can keep doing. So it's all been as a result of my dedication and my hard work and my consistency. So if I was to speak to my younger self, and so this goes out the same to any young children who are trying to make it in anything.
Not only football related,
but anything in life, is make sure that you keep believing in what you're doing. Always try and keep getting better every single day, and think of what can I do to be different, to stand out, to do something that others won't do, because that will give you the extra edge. And the most important thing with anything is dedication, hard work, and consistency, because consistency will then develop trust, and with trust you'll get opportunities. Sometimes people overcomplicate it. There's no secrets to success. It's all about doing the simple things very well and doing them on a consistent basis.
All those little things add up.
Yeah, but it's easy to let's say see somebody do well or see a video on YouTube and get really motivated for a few days or a week or something or a month, but then after that it'll stop. What's hard is to keep going even on those days where you don't feel like wanting to do anything. Like, even for me, sometimes there are days where I wake up and I feel tired, you know, I feel fatigued, be like, oh, I don't really want to go and train today, I'd rather stay here. But it's not the motivation that keeps me going, it's my commitment and my desire to achieve what I want to achieve. And it's being able to go out on those days and do what you need to do that really makes you better. It's about being able to do it all the time, not just when you feel good.
Yes, to keep like committed and to keep like your word to yourself on your worst day. Like, okay, I said I was going to do it. Today I might not want to, but I stay true to myself, to my commitment that I made.
Exactly.
But most important, this commitment, we make it to ourselves.
Exactly.
It's not with the world. It's don't betray yourself.
You're never comparing yourself against others. You're never competing with others. You're always competing against yourself, wanting to be better today than you were yesterday. That is the most important thing. There'll be times, my dad can tell you, where I'll be crying because I thought that no club, no academy was going to sign me, you know, because I'd been on trials in many clubs and they'd all said no. So there was...
What club did you, or like, did you do like, what was that, couple academies?
Yeah, it was academies in and around London, so... And I thought that, right, what, am I not good enough? Am I not going to get signed?
What was the reasons? Any reasons?
Nah, it was just like, they just said, you're not good enough, you need to get better at this, get better at that. But a lot of the time it was just, nah, we just don't want you, or we don't need you. So for me, that was tough, but the most important thing is that I just kept going. And obviously throughout the last few years, there's always been periods that are tough, you know, maybe where I haven't been playing. For example, last season there were a few months where I wasn't playing, which were difficult. But what I made sure is that in those tough moments, first of all, I go back to making sure that I do the simple things well. I make sure that I do everything that's in my control to the best of my ability, that I sleep well, I eat well, that I prepare myself well, I do my gym work well, I go out and fully apply myself in training and do everything that I can to put myself in the best position. That's all you can do. When it gets tough, is control what you can control. And also sometimes it's good to sit down on your own and have some time to yourself and just reflect where you are and where you've come. Be like, oh, I've actually done well for myself, you know. A few years ago, I wouldn't have imagined that I'd be in this position. That sort of inspires you to be like, okay, I'm actually not doing badly, I'm doing well. And from that, you can just keep pushing on.
And that's important what you're saying, because we always look where we're trying to go. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's important to be, okay, let's sit and look backwards, because we always say to look forward, but sometimes it's okay to clap for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely, because for me, like,
I haven't, last season I didn't play for 3-4 months, and I knew that I should have been playing, but I didn't lose focus of what I had to do. I didn't start complaining, any of that. I just kept my head down, kept working every day, and when the opportunity came, I took it, and I'm playing.
Because what's hard is like football is a game of opinion.
Exactly.
It's maybe today this coach is going to play you, but if it's another, maybe you don't fit the style, or so it's important to not let the opinion that other has of you impact your opinion of your own self.
Yeah,
I can say it like,
yeah, definitely. You know, you have to understand that not everybody's gonna like you. You can't. That's impossible. You can't like everybody. Not everybody's gonna make a good impression on you. You're not gonna make a good impression on anybody else. That's just life, and that happens. That can happen with anything in life, really. So it's important to understand that in football, there's loads of opinions. The most important thing is that you try and be better every day, and when you do get an opportunity, which may only be one opportunity, it may only be 10 minutes in a game, that you maximize it as much as you can, because maximizing an opportunity like that can be the difference between making it to a top player or just being an average player. That can like really change your life. Yeah, and people think that those people have become, you know, you hear the phrase an overnight success, but it's not an overnight success. It's a compilation of all the work that you've done all over the years to get to that point, you know?
yeah.
All that training, all that dedication, it all adds up, and then it's shown in that moment. I don't believe in luck. Success is nothing to do with luck. It's all about your own work, your own success.
I believe like the train passing comes for everyone at least once.
Exactly.
But if you're not well prepared, or
It's about seeing the opportunity.
exactly,
A lot of people think that the opportunity is just going to come to them, it's just going to fall into their hands, but it's not. You need to go and actively seek the opportunity.